Which is the digestive enzyme found in stomach?
Ma'am,
Which is the digestive enzyme found in stomach?
Ma'am,
Hydrochloric acid, HCl. Hydrochloric acid is the acid which you find in stomach, which is a very high grade acid. This is the acid which helps to break down all the food material into much more. Chemically now it will break down. In the mouth, what happened? In the buccal cavity, it is broken down into small pieces, physically break down. Here, chemically, it will break down the food. It is very acidic, so it will break down all the food and will help in, further digesting the carbohydrate, the starch, the sugar, the protein, the fat, and everything.
sorry,
Right?
ma'am, I left due to net issue. I had power fluctuation, so I left by mistake.
Okay. So basically, what happens in the stomach is that hydrochloric acid digests all the food that most of the nutrients that we eat into chemically smaller particles, right? After that, there is something called a pancreas, right? Pancreas also produces a digestive enzyme, and so there is, as of now in your class, you can tell that there are certain pancreatic juices coming from the pancreas. Where is it situated? Just behind the stomach.
Ma'am, I think it's pepsin and all.
Yeah, so basically also, insulin, glucagon, even these are released, and it acts on further on the starch or the carbohydrate or the sugar, right? And it breaks it down, right? Then what happens is that it enters the small intestine. The food enters the small intestine, right? So Priscilla, tell me what happens in small intestine? Assimilation, start from assimilation.
Ma'am, in the small intestine, there are finger-like projections called villi,
Hmm.
singular villi, no,
Hmm.
villus. And then
Hmm.
they help, they increase the surface area
Hmm.
of the small intestine,
Hmm.
which makes it more easier to absorb nutrients.
Hmm.
Uh, and the villi is richly supplied with blood capillaries.
Hmm.
And so because of that, it absorbs all the nutrients into the body,
Hmm.
and the undigested food is passed on to the large intestine.
Okay, good. Well said. So basically what happens is that, yeah, well said. So what happens in the small intestine is that we know that small intestine anyways is, highly folded, right? And even out of those fold, there are those small finger-like projections which are known as villi. So they basically even more, extend the surface area of the small intestine. So what villi does is that it absorbs. So absorption and assimilation. Absorption and assimilation both takes place in the small intestine. And this is exactly where all the venules and the arterioles and everything, comes here. For what? To carry the food. They were waiting all the while to carry the food. So once the food is all broken up into very tiny substances, then these blood vessels carry the food and they take it to the different parts of the body. So that's why it's known as assimilation, assimilating the food and sending it to the different places, right? So after that, whatever, the waste material which is not being digested, for example, cellulose, when we have palak and all the green leafy vegetables, it lies all undigested. So all those things, they come to the large intestine, right? So Unmana, tell me what happens there in the large intestine?
Yes, ma'am. So after the food reaches the large intestine, like after being absorbed, the large intestine absorbs the water and salts from the that undigested food material,
Hmm.
and then the remaining, like after the salt and the water is absorbed, the remaining waste, it passes into the rectum and like remains there as semi solid feces, And then the fecal matter is removed to the anus, and this is called egestion.
Correct. Good. So basically that is egestion when the entire, and what are the parts? It passes through the rectum and then the anus. Right? Rectum is basically the pipe, right, which leads from the large intestine. So if this is the large intestine, this is the rectum, and the opening out here is known as the anus. Right? The rectum, don't get confused, students get confused. Rectum is basically the pipe, and the end is known as, the opening is known as the anus. Right? So that was about nutrition and digestion in complex animal being. So this is what we have studied and we have elaborated on. Okay, and how does amoeba take in food?
I'm using false feet or pseudopodia.
Very good.
Using pseudopodia.
Yes, and how do they ingest food? As in, how do
Ma'am,
they take?
through a
So
ma'am, I
you,
don't know, it's some type of vacuole.
yeah, very good. Yes, it's some kind of vacuole. So there are actually three kinds of vacuole. There are the small vacuoles, which are known as the water vacuole. Right? There is one comparatively big vacuole, which is known as the food vacuole, through which it eats, and then it stores. Once it takes in the food from here, see, this white portion becomes the food vacuole. And there is something mediocre in size, which is known as
Contractile.
excellent. That's known as the contractile vacuole, which, all the waste matter of the amoeba, whatever is like waste and all, it comes here and then it is expelled out of the body, digested out.
Ma'am, yesterday in our school in biology, we were doing the chapter classification of the living world, and we were studying a case study on amoeba.
Oh, okay, good, very good. Good. Okay, so next we will go to the next portion, which is nutrition in human. We did digestive system, we just did. Yeah, mouth, buccal cavity. So all of you are familiar. There are two schools of thought. There is one school of thought which says that, our tongue is actually divided into all these portions, sweet, salty, sour, bitter at the end. There is a modern school of thought which says that it's just the sensation that's there in the tongue. Basically, it's not so organized. Anywhere in the tongue you touch with something sweet, you'll feel the sweetness. You touch any part of the tongue with a bitter food, you will feel the bitterness. So it's not so organized. That's the second school of thought. Right? This is how food travels from esophagus to the stomach. These are the different salivary glands, digestive glands, like the salivary gland, liver, pancreas. Okay, we missed on to liver. Liver basically, produces the bile, right? Bile juice, right? And where is it stored? It is stored in the gallbladder. In Hindi, you call it the pith. Pith, it's basically the bile juice. Now coming to nutrition in ruminants. Right, so how do ruminants have their food? Back to you, Anna. Can you tell me? Yeah, can you please take us to the nutrition in ruminants?
Yes, no, ma'am. No, like I don't know. I have no idea.
Read it out.
Okay, ma'am. Nutrition and ruminant. A ruminant is a herbivorous animal which regulates its food and digests it in a step.
It in step as in stepwise, right? So basically, who are ruminants? Basically, who are herbivores, and they, after swallowing the food, they get it back again for chewing. That's known as the cud. Right, so there are basically two steps involved. The first step, Priscilla, can you please read it out?
Yes, ma'am. The two steps involved in digestion of ruminants are, 1 minute now. The ruminant first eats the food and regurgitates a semi-digested food called cud. The ruminant then eats the cud when at rest. This process of eating the cud is called ruminating.
Yeah, that would be regurgitate. Regurgitate. Regurgitate means, something that comes back from the stomach to the mouth. That is known as regurgitate or regurgitation. Okay. So basically what happens is that cow, goat, camel, sheep, whichever, giraffe and all, they're all herbivores. You will continuously, whenever in the spare time, they're always chewing. You will always find their mouth moving. What are they doing? They're ruminating. What are they ruminating on? On the cud. What is cud? The semi-digested food is called cud. In the first step, what do? Mindlessly, they keep on grazing. They just keep on chewing the grass, as in they just mindlessly 2-3 hours will just keep on eating the grass. And they will kind of not even chew. They will just maybe chew once and then swallow it. Chew once and then swallow it. Then they will sit in a shade, and for the next 2-3 hours, they'll bring back all the food that they swallowed back from the rumen to the mouth. That is known as the cud. And then they will start ruminating, as in now for the second time they will chew it properly. Properly they will chew. It has to be chewed. Why? Because all green plants
Have cellulose.
have something called the cellulose, which human beings, none of the organisms, living organisms, can digest it. It's only the herbivores which can digest cellulose, because they have a certain kind of enzyme, cellulase. Remember, I told you all enzymes will end with ase. Cellulase is an enzyme which can break down cellulose into smaller particles. Because poor herbivores, they don't eat anything else like bread, butter, jam, nothing. They will only have grass, leaf. That's the only exception. Sometimes leaf, sometimes grass. Small grass, big grass. Right, so that's the only difference. So what they have all is cellulose, and whatever they eat, they have to, nutrients has to be derived from this cellulose only. It has to be broken down. If it's not broken down, it will not be assimilated in the body. They will not get the nutrition. They also need, just imagine the amount of milk cow produces just by eating grass. Right, and that milk has so much of fat, protein, minerals, vitamins. From where does it come? It all comes from grass. And what is grass? It's all cellulose. And what is cellulose? Cellulose is basically a kind of starch. It also forms, it comes under the, it's a kind of carbohydrate. It falls under the category of carbohydrates. Right? Now let's, Unmana, can you please read out this portion, the 4 chambers of a ruminant?
Yes, ma'am. Ruminants have a special stomach with 4 chambers. Rumen. This is the largest chamber of the stomach. It is mainly used for storing food. Reticulum. It helps in moving the food back to the mouth when needed. Omasum. This is the smallest chamber of the stomach. Its main function is to absorb excess water. Abomasum. This is a true stomach where gastric juices are secreted to help digestion. Here the food is digested just like in the human stomach.
Correct. So basically, all the remaining, so the entire digestive system, as in, they have got 4 parts: rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum. What is the rumen? Rumen is the largest chamber of the stomach. It's the largest chamber, right? And that is where they store all the food. Correct. So anywhere you store something, it has to be big enough to store, right? Next, we have the reticulum. What is reticulum? Reticulum is just that part which helps in moving the food back from the stomach to the mouth when they need it. So it is the portion which actually helps in doing the regurgitation process. Right. Next comes the omasum. What is omasum? It is the smallest chamber of the stomach, and its main function is to absorb excess water. So just imagine when the cow is, or the herbivores, they're having grass and plants, leaf, it has got so much of water content in it, isn't it? And all those water have to be taken out while digestion. It is all segregated. So who does that work? Omasum does that work. The same thing with the small intestine and the large intestine in a human being does. Right? Now abomasum, what is the role of abomasum? This is a true stomach where gastric juices are secreted to help digestion. Here the food is digested just like in case of human beings. So just like we have hydrochloric acid, they too have certain acids which helps in digesting cellulose mainly, right? And then it is, passed out, passed into the small intestine and then excreted out of the body of the cow. The herbivore, they have a cecum, right?